Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. In today's video we're taking a look at the X-Transbots Master Series 86 Warrior LOCKE. Their take on an MP Cup. Quick look around the box. I'm loving this new packaging design. Really nicely done. We've got some of their toy versions of the Stunticons on the back there. And then we've got their Springer. Got a little bit of information on LOCKE there and his warrior functions. There are still many causes worth sacrificing for. So much history yet to be made. Oh, that is deep. Now before we look at LOCKE himself, let's take a look at his accessories. He comes with a very articulated Sharkticon tail. When are we going to get an MP Sharkticon? People would buy them up in bulk as long as they're not ridiculously priced, but we get alternative hands. They do just peg in and peg out. We get the curved top of his head, if you wanted to go for the curved section as opposed to the flat top that he comes with as standard. He comes with his rifle. Again, all done to a nice standard. And we get that kind of normal neutral face as standard. Then we get an angry face. Get a smiling face. That just looks sinister coming from Cup. And then we get him there with his Saigar. We get two Target Masters. Nicely articulated, heads can go up and down, ball mounted shoulders, ball mounted biceps. We've got bends on the waist, we've got rotation on these legs, we've got bends on the knee, we've got rotation and pivots on those ankles. And we've got the other dude as well. These aren't bad, pretty decent figures. I like to pose my mask figures with these as well because they all scale about the same size. To give you an idea of how he fares, there's various different third-party and official MP figures here, all kind of from that movie stroke season 3 and 4. He looks pretty decent with them all. Some of these I really don't like transforming. I know Fans Toys has a ridiculously huge fan base, which is fair enough, but figures made from those kind of older designs like their RC and their Hot Rod and that, they're just not fun at all, unfortunately, but they do look good. And here we have both LOCKE and Coot on the turntable, so you can see a direct comparison of the two. I've tried to get them both in kind of a natural pose, just with the gun up, keep it kind of as even as possible, so I don't want people to say, oh, you've posed this one badly, you've posed this one badly to make the other one look worse. This is how they both look in kind of a natural standing pose. Coot has some really good things going for him. I like those legs, I like how it goes around the knees, and I do like that kind of waist section, but I still think that LOCKE does have that much more screen accurate appearance. The backpack is really nice in hand. It's not as bulky as it looks. I've heard a lot of people say that he looks too chunky, and I really don't find that in hand. I really don't think he does. When you compare him directly next to Coot, there's really not a great deal in it. Both have amazing sculpts. Are people going to sell Coot to go out and buy LOCKE? Probably not, but those who have held out for LOCKE, as far as bot modes go and vehicle modes, to be honest, both are extremely well done. See, they both do look like nice figures, don't they? To be fair to Coot, I can never get his backpack to sit lower than that. I've seen some people that have got it kind of more square. I just really struggle with his backpack, but I mean, the front view looks sensational, but I honestly do think the X-Trans have that look done better. I mean, everybody was saying how chunky X-Trans looks. I don't personally see it. Obviously, in all fairness, we should really switch out the square head to the round head and give him his sidegar. And yes, I did lose my sidegar for Goot. No idea where it is. I have no idea. Might see if I can get another one from Fans Toys, see if I can like buy one or something. But I don't know. I think X-Transbot have managed to get a better likeness to the animation counterpart, but that's definitely not knocking the Fans Toys version. Although this split chest section really grinds me, because I keep trying to put a sticker on his chest here, and it's a nightmare because you have to slice the sticker in half, and it doesn't really stay. Whereas this section here isn't a faux chest; it forms the front of the pickup, so the sticker would go on there, and it would just stay there. Let's cover the articulation. The head can look up, down, we can go left, and we can go right. We've got friction on these arms. They can come all the way around. Really tight upper bicep rotations, but we do have a double jointed bend on the elbow, rotation on those wrists. We have rotation on the waist. We have probably too loose a joint on the abdominal crunch. It does crunch forwards, but I really would have preferred a ratchet on there. I guess it's all due to cost. I reckon a good 80% of these legs are die cast. We've got die cast here, 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 here as well. All of that is kind of metal. The legs can come forward. We have a hip skirt here and a hip skirt here, and of course those hip skirts at the back, allowing for the legs to come all the way forwards, all the way back, out to the side that far. People are saying that their legs are offset. That's due to the transformation. That does slide outwards and slide in, so they should square up quite nicely. We don't have a ratchet going out to the side, which is okay, because that still means we can get a fairly natural wide stance. We do get tight joints on those knees, allowing for that to come up nice and high. And we get up and down, we get some pivoting on there as well. No side-to-side motion though. I really do like side-to-side motion on my feet. But unfortunately, we don't have them on this version of Cup. But you can definitely pull off some nice poses, although I am pretty rubbish at posing. But let's click that hand back in, dump, and it's not really a pointing finger, is it? But there we go. You can kind of have him pointing over there, bend that knee slightly, so we've got a kind of almost a walking forwards pose. I'm sure you guys can come up with much better options. Faceplates are nice and easy to pop off. They're just supported around the top of the head. There we go, there's him with his Saigar head at the top of the head itself, like the faceplate. That should. Just pop off, so we can place the circular head in. There we go, and let's just bring in, I don't know, maybe the smirking face, shall we? Oh, I don't know. I think I might prefer the curved top. I'm not sure. Let's see how that looks with the stern face back on. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a winner. I think I prefer the curved top. For those curious, the difference in the hands. These are more kind of MP style, and I guess these are kind of more animation inspired. I personally prefer the animation style like so. I just think they look, I don't know, chunkier, I guess. Almost look like cups wearing gloves, doesn't it? But as standard, they come with these hands. Through the transformation, it shouldn't really matter which hands you have on him, because they both kind of fold outwards and sit to the side. As long as you compress them both, it shouldn't really matter at all. Biggest gripes with this figure, I'll show you as we transform. One of these on mine needs tightening. There's a small screw just underneath these, and one's a little bit looser than the other. And this tab here does tend to pop out. Unless you've got this hinged exactly right, this one here does tend to pop out when you're posing and maneuvering that head. And if you look just underneath the chin, I've got a little bit of rub under there where I've done the transformation a few different times and tried to make things work for better or for worse. But all in all, that's pretty much it. Everything's as it should be. Nothing is really overly untoward. Pose as well, solid figure, big chunky lump of metal. I really don't think he's anywhere near as bad as some of these reviewers made out. I think it's entirely up to the owner. I mean, people were slating the X-Transbots Menasor until they got it in hand, and then I just saw posts upon posts of people posing it and saying how great it looked. I think it's all a matter of preference. Now it's hunky as he looks. I nearly called him Hank then. Hank would have been a great name for Cup. We're going to get him transformed up into his vehicle mode. So join me on this miraculous journey. You want to lift the head up. I actually tilt the head to the side and bring that piece up like so. This is then going to untab and come down. It's on this rocking hinge, which allows it to come all the way down to the base. This panel here comes down. This panel here comes down. And this is just going to unhinge like so and come up. And the only real concern of mine is that this entire torso piece is on this hinge here. I mean, these thick plastic, they're not metal, but they are thick plastic. So I shouldn't really see it being a problem, but that's something definitely to be mindful of, I think. You'll see what I mean about these hinges. You see this one here? That's on this screw here, and that one's a bit loose. This one here is definitely a lot tighter. So right, this lower section here is going to drop down so it clears this base piece. And look how I've got these arms. These are going to come up and they're going to lift up on this hinge like so. These pieces here are going to come flat and come flat, so they drop all the way down so they're out of the way. And then we've got this hinge here. This is going to separate and split, and then that comes around and that goes in. That was it. So let's separate this side here again. Make sure that it's clear of this base panel. That comes around and that comes over. There we go. And that's going to come around to the front. You can then re-tab these pieces back in. This one comes around to the front. That's then going to re-tab back in. And you can definitely see that this one here is much looser on mine, isn't it? Right, Cup's head is here. Right, we are going to open this piece here all the way up like so. Make sure that these arms are back out of the way just so there's enough clearance. And then we want to bend this hinge at the base of Cup's neck. If you want to just get in behind it and just, I always put my finger in there and just bend that hinge so it's right the way down, and you see it's just tucked in, and we go down sideways, and from this location with his head pointing like that, we can just push, and ta-da! It's through. And then it's not finished yet. No, it needs to come around to the front. Come on, this piece here is so annoying. Now we've got this panel here. It's going to come up. This is then going to come up to the side of Cup's head. I'm going to rotate it, and then using that double hinge that we just pushed back, this is going to come down, and that's going to push to the underside of here. There we go. These panels here flip up and up, allowing for these to come all the way up. These are going to rotate, and this is going to come all the way up. Oh, come on. Whoop. And rotate. These are going to form part of the truck panels. You see this here opens up like so. This then opens, and this is going to come down, and then this panel here flips up as well, and that forms the end of that truck cab. These arms are going to come in, and as we bring them in, you want to rotate that around, push that into this void so it comes in like so, and this is going to basically rotate on that bicep hinge, and that wants to come in like so they're facing upwards, and then the hand just comes outwards. So again, on this side, bring that arm around, rotate it at this joint. There we go, that's going to come in, up, rotate at the bicep, collapse, and fold downwards. So you're left with something that looks like that. We can then start building these top sections here. So this is all going to start lining up. See, there's these two tabs in the inside here. These are going to push and secure into place. Come over, and this all tabs in. So that tabs in there, that tabs in there, and that collapses. Do that on both sides. I'm not tabbing everything in just yet. So you can see that this is all going to fall into place. So the hip skirts are going to come down and down, and now basically sit either side of these hinges here, like so. And now we can tackle these legs. So come around, and it is tabbed in just here, and you want to basically lift the foot up, which allows that to come unhinged. The toe on the foot is going to flip like so. This will then come up and collapse. This piece on the toe and heel join. This piece here flips upwards, and this will eventually slide back in. There's a tab on the underside of these legs here. This here folds down like so. This is going to come up out of the way like this. And then we've got this tab just here. This is going to push like this, allowing this to come all the way up. There's a slider on that wheel. Work that all the way along. So we can collapse this joint here inwards, And now that it's collapsed, this is going to come all the way up and through to the other side, and then the leg basically sits on the inside of these thighs, and then we're going to work that thigh joint outwards. So you've then got that large lip piece, and then from there, move this out of the way so we can see what we're doing. We've got this hip panel all the way up and then bend on that thigh. So we're left with big, wide stance there. This is going to collapse into that leg. This panel here is going to flip over. Oh, it's so much more difficult trying to get it all onto camera. This is going to come down, and this clears this section. This here is going to clear. This will tab in, it will tab in, and then using that slider on the inside of the foot, that's going to collapse. You want to do that with both of those legs, and from here it's just a matter of tabbing a majority of this into position. Like these, just tab in on the front, and hardest pieces to probably tab in these thigh panels. Just got to line them up, make sure this isn't all the way over, is it? Come on, out you go. There we go, that's better. And that should, he says, just tab in on that thigh. There we go. And tab in on the thigh. These back pieces here, these open up like so, and like so. He says, pushing these pieces in here so they're out of the way. There we go. This flips over, and we push and secure that in, and the idea is these are going to drop down and they'll sit on these pieces here. Once we've got all of this lined up, it's just a matter of doing exactly that though, lining everything up. While I'm lining that up, we can bring this piece here up, and looking at the roof panel, it's on a double hinge. This top piece here comes up, rotates around, and forms this piece here. These have already collapsed on their own, haven't they? But there's these tabs here. Flip those out, bring those around to the side, bring that one around to the side, and these are going to sit on the inside here. This is going to come down on this double hinge, and where these hinges are underneath here, this actually is going to slide beneath them and in between them, like so. See, no flexing there, it just slides in and slides in. And then where we have these tabs here, those are going to line up with the legs, he says. And come on, push and tab, push and tab. This is going to all extend. This slides in, and now we just need to go around and just tidy everything off. Right, and here we have him fully transformed up alongside Hot Rod. You know what, I was absolutely dreading the transformation after watching some of these Chinese reviewers, and thankfully it wasn't anywhere near as difficult. You just need to get things in the right kind of placement before chopping and changing pieces through, but that's a pretty decent scale. This is of course the MP Hot Rod, the second release, the Target Master version. All in all, he holds together pretty nicely. These two here do tend to just tab out, so I can't quite get this underline section here to tab in. It does tab in, but it's because we move these thigh pieces, they slide out, and these do kind of tend to sit slightly offset. So I'm wondering if it's just something that I've not quite done properly. This is normal because the groove goes all the way up and around. And as previously mentioned in the bot mode, I just need to tighten this one screw here because this bit here is just a little bit too floppy. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a really nice alt mode. Yes, okay, the journey from A to B was not exactly riveting. It wasn't exactly the most fun, but I've had a lot worse. I would compare him to Coot, but I am not a fan of transforming Coot whatsoever. So he's going to stay in his bot mode for now. Now I do have DX9 drag strip. Obviously two very different approaches there, but actually really liking this figure. Worth the money. I mean, if you're looking around 130, 140, I think you're pretty much on par. I don't know what the reissue of Coot was going for, but I don't know. I mean, let's just take this off and I'll show you what I mean about those under sections. These just tab in on here, and I don't know, it's because I'm applying pressure to here to hold these tabs in, like so. These do then tend to pop off, but I mean, it all sits as it should. It's a really nice colour. Hopefully you've managed to pick up this kind of real, kind of very G1 colour scheme via my video, because I know how to set a white balance. But there we go. That's your vehicle mode. That's your vehicle mode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you already own Coot? If you don't, is this an option for you? Personally, I think it is. I mean, they ship it in bot mode, so you don't necessarily have to transform it to its vehicle mode. But as you've seen from my video, I've tried to make it as straightforward as possible. First time I actually did this, I sent a message to some of my Patreons and also Sean, who had this before me, and I actually managed to transform it without the instructions, and I was extremely pleased with myself. I just look at it logically, and you can see where things are meant to go. And yeah, there's some clearance issues. If you have to get things like the arms and the head in exactly the right position, and they do sail through. You don't have to take the head off like I saw one reviewer do. You don't have to force any of the joints. Things will slide through. As you can see how I did it in this video, just lifting that up on that hinge, that will just slide under there. As long as the wheel arch is detached, as long as that's separated, that will slide under there quite nicely. So it's just a matter of ways and means. The instructions are not great. Okay, I'll be completely honest there. You look like you jumped from like step 1 to step 50. Hence, I wanted to try and go through this as cleanly and as neatly as possible for your perusal. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share, and of course, subscribe. Make sure you check out my KO channel as well, which I am trying to kind of migrate a lot of my third-party stuff over to. It's just because I work with some official licensed companies as well. They don't take too kindly to kind of sharing a platform with non-licensed products, so I'm trying to keep the two separate. So I will end up kind of migrating a lot of my third-party stuff over there and keeping the official stuff over here, but they will still will intertwine slightly. So make sure you check out both channels, hit that notification bell so you know when videos are going up. And from myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.